Hey guys, it's Brenden with Blue Tiger Wellness. So I'm doing a video from a recommendation to do it on a shoulder girdle. I'll show you some anatomy tips on this and also what we do when we sleep.
All right, so this is just a little bit of introduction about the shoulder girdle, and it's really important to understand that there's certain actions or range of motions that your shoulder goes through, and you can read about these right here. The difference with when you're sleeping on your side is that what you're doing is you're immediately rotating your scapula, and you're actually affecting your muscles, ligaments, tendons, and your shoulder joint proper. So when you want to think about this area while you're sleeping, you got to think about the bones you're affecting. You're going to be affecting your humerus and your scapula and your clavicle. And what happens with this humerus, the ball and joint socket here, when you're sleeping, is it's going to affect the glenoid cavity and also that part right in there that's kind of more of the ligaments and the joint proper. So this glenohumeral joint is supposed to have these actions, and what you're doing is you're essentially flattening the scapula, and you could be, if you're hugging a pillow on the other side, if you're sleeping on your left side, you could be over laterally rotating your scapula, and you could be affecting all these bony processes right here are just kind of where we look at an anatomy, essentially is going through what are we affecting here is your tendons. When you're sleeping on the side, you're affecting those tendons and the ligaments that are connecting your joint with your bone and your muscle to your tendon, if that makes sense. But that is kind of more the biological thing happening. But essentially, these joints here, your sternoclavicular joint, your acromioclavicular joint, are going to be affecting these nerve and blood vessels, as you can see on this video here, is you're effectively going to affect those nerves and the blood flow in the area when you're sleeping on the left side. It's going to affect this left side there. So this is just a really fancy way of looking at the articular cartilage that allows the bones to slide over each of these joints and to do so effectively. But when you're resting, the blood pressure is affected with your blood flow. And so what you're doing is when you're on this left side, you're going to be affecting the blood flow to this area. And then effectively, if you're waking up and you're feeling like wow, I don't have a lot of blood flow in this joint here, that's what's going to be affected. If you don't have enough pillow in between your neck when you're sleeping and you're essentially going like this, you're going to be squeezing the blood out of this, but you're also going to be affecting the nerves in there. So it's really important when you wake up to really kind of start to wake up and kind of rest your shoulder in a whole bunch of different ways, and make sure you're stretching out the fascia and the soft tissue that's going to be calming these nerves down and the blood flow to get back into this area. And if you're starting your day with breathing exercises, which I highly recommend, you're going to be allowing that area to reconnect with all the other areas to get that blood flow back and to get the nerves, the bundle of nerves that go through your clavicle, to wake up and to not be so irritated, if that makes sense. But I hope this video helped you understand the anatomy of that area that can affect your pain in that body. So essentially, and this is the other part here, the rotator cuff, it's important to know the rotator cuff is made up of 4 different muscles. And it forms a sleeve around the head of the glenoid cavity in this shoulder joint here, the glenohumeral joint. And it's going to allow you that range of motion to lift your arm, elevate, and to laterally rotate, and to do flexing of your arm and extension. The deltoid muscle is probably going to be the most affected if you're going to sleep on your side like this. So allowing yourself to, when you wake up, if you're a side sleeper, that ability to stretch out those tendons right there that you can see on at the biceps tendon is the one that you're probably mostly affecting when you're sleeping on your side. But also putting the other arm that you're not sleeping on, try not to tug too much and over laterally rotate your scapula. If you are hugging a pillow, that's okay, but I would kind of introduce you to putting your arm onto your hip if you can, and try not to over it, because we're already in this shoulder hugging when we're on our phones, when we're on our computers. There's so much of this going on. What I'd like you to do is maybe open up a little bit more and put your arm to your side if you can. And if you are laying on this left side, to kind of just try to keep your as much neutrality in the range of motion if you can as possible.
For this part of it, I'm going to talk about what you can do with a foam roller and going up against the wall to get this lateral portion of your shoulder blade to loosen up for you. And then I'll show you something you can do to get your pecs loosened up as well. So without further ado, just put the foam roller against the wall, or you can do a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, whatever kind of ball you have. Tennis ball works just as good. But you can use either or, and just use this and go up against the wall with it, and then put your arm up like this, and you'll be able to kind of lengthen this tricep area, and you can kind of start there. And as that starts to loosen up, you start to kind of loosen this area up. You're gonna feel a tension, a hot spot there. Just kind of lean into it and take some nice deep breaths. And then kind of whatever feels good here. And you're gonna kind of go an inch or so and kind of roll it. You can even kind of rotate your arm, supinate and pronate your arm, and keep on going down. So with this part is the part that I'm interested in. This one gets really tight on me when I sleep as well on my side. And you're just gonna kind of push your weight into it, and you're just kind of roll here and keep on doing it and going down and doing this. And you're gonna repeat that as many times as you feel is necessary. And then the next one I would say is going up against the wall. If it is your left side you're sleeping on, going up against the wall to get this pec area. And I'll show you on this side because of the camera angle here. You're just gonna kind of go up against the wall here with the foam roller and kind of loosen this area up nice and good. And then you're gonna lift at least to 90 degrees here, kind of supinate and pronate your arm like this. I'm hearing some crackling, so that's really good. And then whatever feels good to you, just kind of explore here. This is more of an exploratory thing. And then once you've done the 90 degree from 0 to 90, let's do the 180 to 90. And like I said, just keep on kind of exploring here, but go as far over the deltoid as you can. The deltoid is kind of this muscle in here. There's anterior and posterior fibers and middle fibers. And I also want to kind of show you there's another way to go about getting to underneath the shoulder blade here, which is your subscap. You can go up with, you can go up against the wall with it, and I'll show you on this side here, and kind of get underneath the shoulder blade here. This is kind of tricky because you're going to kind of have to support the foam roller, and you're just going to kind of rotate your shoulder here. It feels really good if you can get it right. Or you can go up against the wall with this, which is even easier for some people. So I'll just kind of go like this, and I can feel that there's some restriction there. And then just kind of breathing into it. So these should help you. And if you'd like to do these with me, I would be happy to set something up. We can just hang out and kind of do this together. If you have a wall, preferably you have some space on a wall to do this. We can do this together, and I'd love to do that with you. So in terms of the other part of the neck, I would say if you're sleeping and you're cranked and you don't have enough space in the pillow area, sometimes people don't have enough space when they're laying on their pillow. So I recommend watching the monkey bars video where I hang, because that'll really help to kind of loosen this area up. And I'll link those videos to in the description for you. And I hope this helped, but let me know how this works for you. And let's book a one-on-one session together so we can help fix your pain.